Okay, we're going to do a practice paper. This is a section A question. So first of all, you need to set up your page on your board. So what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do with an exam paper is I'm going to set up the page by sticking one corner down, and then I'm going to line up the parallel motion with a printed line on the page. So I'm going to, with this printed line here, okay, it could be any of the printed lines, and I'm going to make sure that's nice and straight. Then I'm going to stick the page down in the top corners, move that down out of the way, and then finally I'm going to stick the bottom corners down as well. Make sure the tape is nice and flat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, it's just got stuck, just make sure it's stuck down. Then I'm going to move that parallel motion just up the page here, ready to use for section A. Okay, section A, drawings below show details of a swing ticket using a closed shop. The ticket is printed with a profile to represent the product on sale. So this goes on an item of clothing. So what you need to do is complete the full-size view of the swing ticket by drawing on the centre lines given in the space provided to the right. So we're going to draw a circle here. Here are the centre lines here. We're going to draw, here's the circle, 40 diameter circle, that's the symbol for diameter. Half a hexagon, 30 side. The half octagon, 60 AF. And the missing arm and dress outline. So the first one is the 40 diameter circle. So I need a compass. So I'm going to get my compass ready. Remember, end of the tip of the pencil needs to line up with the point of the compass. And the diameter is 40, so I'm going to set the compass to 20. Because if the diameter is 40, the radius is 20. And then the circle starts on this point here. So my ruler just moves slightly. There we go. But if it does move, then I can set it to the neckline here. There we go. And remember, compass between your thumb and your finger, and we're going to draw a circle, nice and clear. Okay, next thing we're going to draw in is the hexagon here. So for that, it's given me the side is 30. Okay, so the side is 30. So I can see that by looking at the drawing, and in fact if I get a ruler, that the bottom of the hexagon, if I draw a line on there, it lines up with the armpit here, the bottom of the octagon. So what I'm going to do is use that line, with the parallel motion to be more accurate. Move the parallel motion up to that line, and what I'm going to do is, with that line I'm going to create a ground line. I'll draw it all the way across. So remember, this construction line, so press on lightly. I'm pressing on a little bit too hard because I need to you need to be able to see my lines. Then what I'm going to do is, if we use a set square, I can check, yep, it's the hexagon. So that first line from that point there goes out at 30 degrees. Remember, the set square should be on the parallel motion. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my compass to, I can just check 30 millimeter side. So I'm going to set my compass to 30 millimeters, and from that point bisect the line 30. Then I'm going to use the set square again, and I'm going to put my pencil on that point there, draw a line up, and again from that point, oh, my compass has moved, it's getting a little bit loose, so set it to 30 again, put my compass on that point, bisect the line, There we go. And then what I need to do from that point is draw a line out like that. And there I have the half hexagon. Now what I'm going to do is just go over that, because this is an exam paper. I want those lines to be definite, so there's no confusion between the lines of the shape and the construction lines. Now the next one is the octagon. The cross face, the AF measurement is 60. It's a half a hexagon, an octagon, sorry. So from this point here to this point, it's going to be half, so that's 30 millimeters. So I'm going to set my compass to 30 millimeters, which it is. Okay, and what I'm going to do from that point is I set that line, and with 4590 set square, which we're going to use for an octagon, so it's 3060 for a hexagon, 4590 for an octagon. And then what I'm going to do is set that, well, in this case I don't need to set it because I've already got a line there. So what I'm going to do is take my parallel motion up to that line, which is here, and I'm going to draw that line in there. Just move that tape, and there I've got the box to draw my semicircle. What I'm going to do now is put my compass here and set it to that line there. Not entirely accurate, but not too bad. I think that's within a tolerance. I think when you've been assessed, the examiner will have a tolerance. So if you're within a millimetre, I would say, then he'll probably give you the marks. He will give you the marks. Okay, and then what you do with the set square, the 4590 set square, is of course draw in those lines, and there we have the half octagon. Now the examiner wants to see your working out, so he wants to see the construction lines, so don't rub them out, you need to leave them there. Try and make the lines of your shape darker than the construction lines. Now the missing arm and the dress outline, so we need to draw that in. So what we need to do is just check if with the set square we can draw those lines. So if I move my set square onto here, we can see that line is 30 degrees, the arm is 30 degrees as well, so that's easy enough. Draw those lines in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these points here and here to find those points on the dress above, on the arm above rather, there and there, and then I can obviously just join those up. Okay, so there I've got the arm, and then for the bottom of the dress I'm just going to extend that out. We can see what can we use to help us with that. So doesn't give us any dimensions. So what we need to do is probably use our ruler. Remember, we can't use this drawing because it's not, because this is bigger than this. This is full size. So what I'm going to do is measure the distance between. I'll put my compass even. Would be even easier. Between that point there, the corner of the dress, and that point there, and then I'm going to put that point and bisect the line, and there's the kind of the corner of the dress. So nice and easy. So there we go. There we have the first question done. Okay, so now I'm going to move my parallel motion down to here. Now, next A2, an incomplete signboard for the clothes shop is drawn to the right. Complete the sign Fashion World by adding the remaining part of the signboard. So here's this part of the signboard here. The two missing letters. So the missing letters are, so we've got FA, so S and H. Okay, so the first thing we can do is to complete the sign, the shape of the sign. So with the parallel motion, move the parallel motion up to that line, and then we can extend that line out further than we need to, it's fine. And then probably you can bet that this line is going to be, yeah, there we go, 60 degrees. So we can use our set square. So the examiners like to make the lines so you can draw them with your equipment. So I'm just going to go over that line and over that line just to make it clear. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw in some guidelines for the letters. So I'm going to draw in a line for the bottom of the lettering. I'm drawing a line for the top. I'm going to do this with my parallel motion so it's nice and accurate. There we go. Okay, we've got an S and we've got a H. So I'm going to use the F. You can see the F here for the H, for the centre of the H. That's going to help me. And that's it. What I need to do now is I'm going to work out a distance between the letters. So we've got an S which is going to be here. Okay, so I might just sketch that in very lightly. And we've got a H. So I'll do probably the H first because that's going to be easier. The distance between the O here and the next letter is, I think, about 3 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is mark off 3 millimeters there. I think the H is probably going to be as wide as, let's say, the L. We've got a vertical here, so that's what's the width of the L. So that's 16 millimeters. So I'm going to mark off 16 millimeters there. So I'm going to draw in the H. I'm going to use the set square. So just draw in the outside of the H. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is the width of the stem as it was, it's about 4 millimeters. So 4 millimeters and 4 millimeters. You can see what I'm doing is I'm working side to side. I only have to mark out once, and then I can draw a line down. I'm going to be fainter this time, and then you can see the H from the guidelines I've drawn has actually appeared. Just need to drop this parallel motion with the ruler. Just going to draw that in. Okay, could do this with just a straight edge. So there is my letter H. And the space I've got left for the S, I'm going to give, well, it was 4 millimeters a gap, 4 millimeters gap here. So all the letters must be the same height and style as those given. So what I'm going to try and do, the H is definitely the same style. So I'm going to give myself make myself some guidelines. Okay. Now the S is a little bit more tricky because you haven't got another letters that similar. We've got the R. If you imagine that was the S there, we could use that. So the S is going to kind of curve round, and I'm going to use that middle bit to help me. And I think if it goes up the sides there, I'm just loosely sketching it in. There we go. And what I've tried to do is I've tried to maintain the thickness of the letter as I draw it. So the distance between there and there and there and there and there and there and there is about the same. The ends of the letters seem to be flat, so that's going to be flat. That will be flat. And what I've tried to do there is keep the distance from here to here and here to here about the same. So the S is a little looser. You can't really do that with the ruler, so you're going to have to sketch that in. But you can see that the letters fit with the rest of the letters there. It's the same style. So you will get marks for the height, for the width, for the gap between the letters, and if they fit in or not. And there you go. There we go.